guys. It's only you guys. Okay, we'll go ahead and start. I think there's some people joining in. You are rolled up blanket. The entire sequence will be lying down, so make sure you have your stuff close enough to you so you don't have to get up or move around. Maybe turn the lights down already or the lights off. And then I'll invite you to go ahead and sit on your rolled up blanket for a quick little meditation. The height of the blanket should help you relax your knees to the ground. And if that's not the case, grab your pillows and your blocks and place them underneath your knees so you feel like you can relax your legs. Let's start with palms facing down onto your thighs. And close your eyes and start to release your body. Let your thighs get heavy. Let your ankles sink into your mat or floor. And like a string pulling the crown of your head up towards the sky, see if you can come out of any slouching or rounding. Take a long breath in and shrug your shoulders up to your ears. And then exhale out of your mouth and relax your shoulders down. Do that one more time. Long breath in, squeeze your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale out of your mouth and relax the shoulders down. And since today's practice is all on the ground, it's all about trying to be present and notice your body. So we'll start right here. Relax everything that you can. Bring all your attention, your mind's eye to the top of your head, to the crown of your head. Maybe you feel like a little tingling or maybe an itch. Start to notice the top of your head. And working slowly from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Start to scan your body. And start to notice where you can release. Start to notice where there's tension or maybe where you're gripping or squeezing or active, and start to let that go. Move from the top of your head slowly down your body until your toes. And this includes your eyes, your tongue, jaw, fingertips. Move slowly. And as you're doing that, you start to notice what's maybe calling out to you today, letting you know that this part needs a little extra love, or to pay attention where there's maybe some pain or intense sensation. I'll give you a little bit of time to do that. And if ever you find yourself losing your train of thought, come back to a body part, stay there, work your way down. A few more moments. And when you're done, go ahead and start bringing your attention to your breath. Without changing it, we tend to want to change it when we start observing the breath, but just notice it. Is it short, fast, shallow, deep, more in your chest or belly? And when our mind is focused on one thing, like scanning our body or following the breath, we tend to less be in the kind of thoughts in our mind, more present. And you can keep your eyes closed for the next exercise. You're just going to bring your 2 index fingers on either side of your nose. And softly close your right nostril. Inhale through the left. Block your left nostril and exhale through the right. Don't have to press too hard, just a little bit. Close up the right nostril. Inhale left. Close the left nostril, exhale right. And repeat that for a few rounds. Inhaling through your left, and exhaling through your right. On your next exhale, release both your nostrils, fingers still onto either side. Now you'll block the left and inhale through the right. Block the right and exhale left. And keep going like that. Inhaling through the right. Exhaling through the left. Keep your mind focused on following your breath, following that little choreography that you're doing with your nose and fingers. And on your next exhale, release your hands back down to your thighs. Close your eyes and come back to following your breath. Making it a tiny bit deeper now, breathing in till the top. Soft inhale, no shrugging of your shoulders or anything, just a nice long breath in. And then when you exhale, making it a point to finish your exhale all the way to empty until you feel your stomach clench, letting you know there's no more breath left. Repeat that for about 5 or 6 rounds. Some nice long, luscious inhales all the way to the top. Super soft, nothing forced. Relax your tongue and exhale out the nose all the way to empty. And see if you can commit, maybe just for your practice, to breathing just like that. We'll be holding the poses a little bit longer tonight to really focus on a chill, relaxing sequence, so your mind can be totally focused on your breath. And I wish you all a very lovely practice. You can go ahead and slowly open your eyes, and I'll show you how to get into the first pose. Take a moment, open your eyes slowly, and just check out your screen before you come into the pose. So we'll come into a back bend first, and you're going to be using your blanket for this first pose. You're going to be lying down so that your shoulder blades come onto the blanket. Grab my block here. And then you'll see that your shoulders are kind of like free falling. Your head may hit the ground kind of like this, and your arms can be open in cactus. This could be comfortable for a lot of us. It can be really intense. If your head doesn't touch the ground, you grab your block or your pillow, place it under your head, and it should be nice and comfortable. So go ahead and get into your pose. Your legs are in constructive rest, so feet as wide as your yoga mat or wherever you're sitting, wider, and let your knees knock in towards one another. It may feel really intense at first, Our shoulders are never in this kind of position, so go ahead and let yourself arrive. And if you don't feel so much, then just wait. And once you're in the pose, take a few first moments to adjust, maybe pushing into your feet, readjusting your hips, readjusting your head. Try to have the chin either pointing straight up or a little bit towards your chest. And see if you can release the back of your shoulders or your shoulder blades towards the blanket a little bit more. Relax your thighs and fingertips. Always in step one of your yin pose, start to get comfortable and let your body release into the pose. And do that little scan where you relax every single part. Let an exhale out of your mouth. We'll be here for about 4 minutes. Once you're comfortable and you've found that pose that you can hold for a little bit, bring your attention back to your breath and do those deep breathing that you were doing towards the end of your meditation. Trying to keep all your focus on following that breath in and breath out. And try to catch yourself when you feel maybe your jaw start to tense up or your tongue glued back to the roof of your mouth. Let that go. And let your back get even heavier towards your yoga mat. Great pose to kind of open up your chest and shoulders, especially if you work on the computer all day. This is a nice opposite position of that. You can feel really good. We're halfway there, so if you want to try going a bit deeper, if you have the block or the pillow behind your head, maybe try removing it, see if your head comes a little bit closer to the ground. And if you don't have a pillow behind your head, go ahead and release your back even more. The more you release and relax your back body, the bigger of an effect the pose will have on you. And for the last part of the pose, see if you can start to feel your body. Bring all of your focus, concentration, awareness, whatever you want to call it, to where you're really feeling it in your body. And observe that whole area. Five more breaths. And to come out of this pose, take it super slow. Make every single transition as slow and as soft as when you're in the pose. Just roll over onto one side, pull the blanket out, not too far away because you'll need it again. And then lie back down onto your yoga mat, stretch your legs out in a kind of shavasana-like pose. And then just feel what happens when you come out of the pose. And the rebound effect, it can be quite obvious. So take a little bit of time here. Let a few exhales out of your mouth. You're going to bend your legs and place your feet onto the floor, and take your rolled up blanket and come place it where your sacrum is. Where your sacrum is that bony part right underneath your lower back. Once you have the blanket on there, or once your back is resting on the blanket, you can go ahead and stretch your legs out. And this is a nice little stretch, a big stretch for your psoas and your hip flexors. If you're sitting all day, this should feel really great. You're gonna leave the left leg long and bend your right knee in towards you. Option to have your hands interlaced behind your thigh or over your knee. But the idea is to keep your whole back on the ground. So back of the head's on the ground, back of the shoulders are on the ground. Nothing's lifted. So maybe you're behind your thigh, maybe you're on top of your knee. You're gonna keep the left leg long and relaxed. If you feel any lower back pain, just bend your left leg. And here your arms are gonna do all the work. Relax your right hip, your right foot and toes and leg. And for this whole next pose, you're just gonna constantly pull your knee in towards you. And pull's the wrong word, because when we say pull, then we start pulling way too much. You want to take it slow. So just constantly have that gravity of your hands and arms help you bring the thigh in towards you. Wind relieving. And we're not all made the same. So some of you may like to have your knee a little bit out to the right, some to the center, some more to the left. Play around, figure out what's good for you. And just try to keep the hands pushing down onto your thigh constant. And bring your attention to what you feel in your right side or left side. Sensation will take your attention. So wherever it takes you, bring it there and start to observe. And right here, it could feel good to bring a little movement into your right ankle and foot. Really slowly pointing and flexing your toes. Doing ankle circles. And if you think you're going slow, try to go twice as slow. And if that left knee is straight or left leg is straight, relax the left knee. Don't keep it so straight. Give it a little bend. And feel your belly press against your right thigh when you breathe in. Five more breaths. Your hands are interlaced around your knee. Go ahead and bring them behind your thigh and extend that right leg up towards the sky. We won't be here too long. So if you want to have a little bend in the leg, that's okay. And then notice if your head is lifting or shoulders are lifting, or if you're aiming for something. Try to relax that right leg and push the bum towards the bottom of your mat. And once again, just point and flex your toes really, really slowly. And then the right knee in towards you, right foot on the floor, and slide it down so it's long. And take a second. Feel the difference between your right and left side. Maybe let an exhale out of the mouth. And prepare for your opposite side. Right leg can be long or bent, foot on the ground. Bend your left knee. Interlace your hands either behind your thigh or on top of your shin. And try to use the awkward grip. So maybe the opposite on thumb on top. Kind of like when you're holding somebody's hand. And then start to let gravity do its work. Left leg gets heavy, left foot is soft. Starting to bring the thigh in towards you. And play around where you want to have your knee pointing. Could be totally different on this side. Give yourself some time to settle into the pose. Maybe point and flex your left toes. Do some ankle circles. Continuously bring that knee in towards the chest or shoulder. Your arms, your biceps do all the work in this pose. And then come back to that little commitment of following your inhale all the way to the top and exhale to the bottom. Long, luscious breaths. The slower you breathe, the more oxygen and space you give your muscles and fascia, the more you can release. And even though you may not feel it now in the stretch, you'll feel it afterwards, later tonight, maybe even tomorrow. Immediate effect. It's not always what you want to be looking for. Take your time. Hands can come interlaced now behind your left thigh, and go ahead and extend your left leg up to the sky, keeping your shoulders and head on the ground. And you can be straight or bent, and you can point and flex your toes. Think of sending your left bum towards the bottom of your mat, where your right foot is. Bend the left knee in towards you, left foot on the ground. Slide it long next to the right. Give yourself a little moment here. And since we did both sides one at a time, let's do both of them together now. So bend both legs, feet on the floor. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Hands can be interlaced. You can hug yourself, or you can just have one hand on each knee. Push into the back of your head so your shoulders are nice and soft into the ground. And now you're on the blanket, so it's a bit different than usual, but slowly pull the knee in towards your chest. And roll your tailbone down towards the blanket. You may not go as far, but your back is straight and aligned in this way. About 5 big belly breaths right here. Release your legs. You can have your hands down by your side and just extend your legs up towards the sky. They can be bent. You can kind of let them float. They move around, let them move around. And think about sending your bum towards the bottom of your mat. Point and flex your toes. And do those ankle circles again. All right, knees in towards your chest, feet back down onto the ground. Push your feet into the ground, lift your hips up and get the blanket out of the way, move it to the side, not too far. Bring your back down onto the ground and give yourself a little moment here, flat back. Release and relax. As we work on our muscles when we exercise, or work on our stretching and fascia when we do yin, and we constantly remind ourselves to observe our breath, or notice our body, or feel the difference. We're making our brain muscle a lot stronger. An important one too, the inside gets as much of a workout as the outside. Observe your body after all that work. How does it feel? Start to slide your legs down so they're nice and long. And you may not need it, but let's move the blanket to up above your head. You can also just put your pillows there too. That could be a nice alternative, but you may not need it, but it'll just be extra comfort. Come into our next pose, Bananasana. We're gonna start by bringing the feet to the left side of your mat. So the left corner, bottom corner. Push into your head and bring your upper body to the left side too, creating a shape of like a banana. And here you want to make sure that both sides of your sacrum, so both hips are on the ground. If one is lifting a little bit, just come out of that banana shape a tiny bit. And once you've found your nice little arc or groove with your body, go ahead and lift your arms up above your head. You can let the arms rest on the pillow or the blanket behind you. And with your left wrist, grab your left hand, grab onto your right wrist. Bend the elbows, relax the arms, fingers and toes. Bring a little bend into both knees. Oftentimes our knees can be hyperextended in this pose. Relax them. Very slowly start rocking your head from right to left. And we're all different, so take your time, move your head around a bit till you find the right position. Some of us could be looking to the right, maybe straight up, or looking to the left. Once you've found your perfect position with your head, go ahead and start to relax the body parts that you can relax. Thighs, knees, fingers and toes. Let your back sink deeper into your yoga mat. Deep breaths into the right side of your body. We like to sleep on the side sometimes, or stand in a funny way, or work in a funky way. So sometimes the little muscles between our ribs can get crunched. See if you can feel the space being created right here. An option to stay right here. If you want to go a bit deeper, you'll cross your right ankle over your left. And if you want to try it out, you can go ahead and see how that feels. You always want to have both sides of your hips on the ground and a nice light stretch on your right body. If ever you want to help yourself a little bit, you can always pull the right wrist a little bit towards the left. This is such a simple pose, but you'll feel those little adjustments quite obviously. If your head is back to center, if your head is, looking one way, bring it back to center. Uncross your ankles if they're crossed. And now start to walk your feet to center. Arms come back by your side and walk your upper body back to center. Come into a nice straight line. Maybe you let an exhale out of the mouth. And then just start to feel the difference between your right and your left side. Let's slowly make our way to the next side, walking your feet over to the right side of your mat. Shin to your head and move your upper body to the right side. Create that banana shape. Arms lift up. Wrists or hands can rest onto your pillow or blanket. And this time you're going to grab onto the left wrist with the right hand. And your awareness comes down to your lower back, your hips, your sacrum. Make sure both sides are on the ground. Nothing's lifted. Same thing with your shoulder blades. Sink them down into your mat. Bend your elbows. It'll help you relax the shoulders far away from the ears. And go ahead and start rocking your head left to right. Find a perfect pose. Once you've found it, come into stillness. Relax your knees. Long, luscious breaths. And if you did it on the other side and you want to try it here again, you'll hook that left ankle over the right. And same thing if you want to pull the left wrist a little bit towards the right. And we hold them for so long, these poses, because it's up to you to find out if you're pulling or pushing too much. To feel the difference between pain and intense sensation or stretch. Or to understand that an intense stretch may not be as beneficial for 4 minutes. Trying stuff out, seeing what's right. Now see if you can bring your breath onto the left side of your body, almost like you feel your left lung inflating and deflating as you breathe. And it happens every time you breathe, but can you be so aware now that you actually feel it in your body, press against your bones? And retract and come back to center. If your head is turned in one direction, go ahead and bring it back to center. And hook your ankles, if that's the case. And bring your arms back by your side and just walk yourself back to center nice and straight. And then in between poses, it's always whatever you feel like doing. Yawning, exhaling out of your mouth, moving around, or simply staying still. It's not really a perfect method or ways to do it. When you observe yourself, you start to know exactly what you need when you need. And you rely less on others or guidance. Let's do a bit of breathing here. If your eyes are open, go ahead and close them. Take an inhale through the nose, nice long big breath, deep in. Open your mouth and let it all out. Stick your tongue out and breathe out. And do that again. A big breath in. Maybe this time you point your toes and make fists with your hands and squeeze all your muscles. And then exhale out of your mouth, release your body, stick out your tongue. Take a breath in for 3, 2, 1, and hold your breath. Out the mouth, exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold it. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Out the mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. One more. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, hold it. Go for less if you need to. I'll guide and exhale out of the mouth for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. And really softly breathing in and out of your nose. And keeping your practice alive, even in your transition. So in the most slowest, softest, without sudden movements, flip over onto your belly and bring yourself up onto your forearms. Take your time. And be gentle with your head. You've been lying down for a while, so don't move it too quick. And you're gonna take your rolled up blanket that's in front of you. Maybe you need to roll it up again, like me. And you're gonna come place that blanket underneath your ribs. So right where your ribs end, that's where you're gonna lie down. So about where your abdominals are. We're gonna come into doing Sphinx, lying down on a rolled up blanket. There'll be a little bit of pressure or pressing on meridian lines, but that's normal and it's good stuff. But if it's too much, you can remove the blanket. So rolled up blanket at the lowest part of your ribs. For your feet, let's have them a little bit wider than hip width apart, and you get to choose whatever's more comfortable for you. It could be toes curled in or feet flat on the floor. Forearms are on the ground, fingertips are on the ground. You can have your elbows closer in towards you and it'll be a bit more of an intense kind of back opening. This is too much if you feel like your lower back is pinching or if you feel like it's too much work to stay up straight for today. If you move the elbows a bit more forward, it relaxes the intensity of the pose. In your Sphinx pose, bring a little bit of activation into your thighs. Tiny bit squeezing, not too much. But because we have the blanket, we're a little bit more supported. See if you can let your belly fall into the blanket, get heavier even more into the blanket. Elbows push into the ground as the crown of the head moves up to the sky. Shoulders back. Chin is leveled with the ground, and if you want a bit more intensity, you can press your fingertips into the ground and almost like you were pulling your hands towards you without moving them, pushing your heart forward, creating that nice shape of the Sphinx. Few deep breaths right here. And we'll release our neck while we're in this pose. You're gonna start by dropping your chin in towards your chest. And like usual, if you think you're going slow, go 3 times slower and start doing some neck circles towards the right. And if it feels good in one area, then stay there and stretch it out. The slower you go, the more you can see the nitty-gritty, the little parts that need extra love. Next time chin comes into your chest, go in the opposite direction. And next time chin comes into your chest, come back into your Sphinx pose. Shoulders soft, heart forward, crown of the head to the sky. Eyes opened or closed. Nice soft breathing. You're welcome to stay in Sphinx if you wish. I'll guide us into a bit of a deeper back bend. If you have any lower back issues, go ahead and stay right here. You're good to move forward. You're gonna start bringing all the weight, stay in the same position you are. Bring your weight into your thumb and index of both of your hands. Not so much, maybe about 40 or 50%. Push into your thumbs and index, straighten your arms, come into seal. Your belly will be off the blanket now. The idea is to still be pushing onto your index and thumbs. Arms are straight, shoulders rolled back and down. If your shoulders are high up, come back into your Sphinx. If you're good here, relax your shoulders, heart forward, and feel that nice opening from your belly button all the way to your throat. And if this is enough for you, stay here or go back to Sphinx. If you want to make it a little bit deeper for the last part, you can bring your hands to the corners of your mat. And now push into the base of your palms a little bit more to open up. If ever you feel too much pinching in your lower back, just come back to Sphinx. Five more breaths wherever you are. And if you were in seal, bring your elbows back down to the ground so that you come back into Sphinx. And all of us from Sphinx, open your elbows up from side to side. Place one hand on top of the other and just relax your head onto your hands. Relax your thighs and feet. Let your belly get into the blanket. And you may feel a little bit of a pinch, sharp pinch where the blanket is. It's normal. And bring your hands underneath where your shoulders are. And we're just going to press back into a child's pose. Try not to lift your head too much or even at all. Bring the blanket close enough to you so you can rest your head on it. Knees can be as close together, as wide as you want. And for today, let's bring the arms behind us. Shoulders roll towards the ground. And let your head get really heavy into your blanket or pillow. And feel that nice stretch all along your back, hips. Belly hangs in between your thighs. And if ever you're in child's pose and you feel like you're getting a cramp in your feet or your knees, grab a few pillows, place them underneath your bum, and then sit down on the pillows. Less pressure on your knees, less pressure on your feet that way. And let your forehead sink even deeper into the blanket. Relax your shoulders even more. Whole face relaxed. Lift your head up just a tiny bit and push the blanket out of the way to the side. And you're gonna come into slide back down onto your belly. Bring one hand on top of the other. Forehead down onto your hands. Legs long behind you. Whole body soft. And once again, being mindful, flip over onto your back. When you're on your back, have your feet bent, your leg bent, feet on the floor. Once you get there, adjust as you need. Push into the back of your head, readjust your shoulders, push into your feet, readjust your hips. Maybe you let an exhale out of the mouth. Stick your tongue out, let out a yawn. So go ahead and open your arms up into a T, palms up. If you don't have any room for that, you can do the bent elbows like we did first. The arms open, readjust as you need. You're gonna cross the right leg over the left. Easy cross, no gripping, no tightening. Just cross the right thigh over the left. Push into the left foot and lift your hips up. And bring your hips over onto the right side of your yoga mat and place the hips back down onto the ground. Let your knees fall over to the left side. They may touch the ground, they may not. It doesn't matter. Just try to make your knees as heavy as they can be. And we'll try to adjust our upper body to make it straight too. You're gonna push into the back of your head and try to scoot your right shoulder and shoulder blade towards the center. So you're twisting around a super straight spine. Regardless of where you are, if your shoulder's on the ground or not, or if your knees are on the ground or not, it doesn't matter, but see if you can release. Oftentimes when we're in a twist, we end up doing a back bend with our chest. Try to relax the back of your ribs into the yoga mat. And try to bring all your awareness to the back of your shoulders, back of the ribs. Take a moment. Relax that part of your body. Even if it's just with your imagination, let it sink deep into the mat. You can stay looking up towards the sky or make your twist complete and turn your head to the left, to the right, excuse me, away from your knees. And then just try to stay right here, right now, on your yoga mat, in your body. Follow your breath. If ever your mind goes somewhere else, try to bring yourself back. Maybe press your hands into the floor and remind yourself where you are. Let an exhale out of the mouth. Come back to following your breath. Five more breaths. Your head is turned, bring it back to center. With a little bit of core activation, bring your knees back to center. Unhook the legs and bring your whole spine and body back to neutral. Do what you need to do here. Stay still, move around, yawn, stick your tongue out. And we'll switch sides. And this time you'll cross your left leg over your right, easy cross. Super soft foot and leg. Push into your right foot, lift the hips up. Bring them to the left side and back down. Knees are going to fall over to the right side. And that left shoulder could lift, and it's okay. Knees can touch the ground or not. Let's try to straighten our back again. Push into the back of your head. Scoot your left shoulder or shoulder blade towards the right, towards the center. Try to come out of that back bend with your chest. Bring your mind and awareness to your back body. And even though it's not fully touching the ground, try to release it even more. Relax those knees and fingertips. And if you wish for a complete twist, you're going to turn your head to the left this time. Twists are really good poses to do, especially at an end of a yoga practice, maybe after a workout when you're stretching, when you can't fall asleep at night, right before bed. Twists tell your nervous system that it's time to rest and relax. They say it's about detoxing, but a twist in your body is more about changing your perspective, seeing things a different way, and relaxing you. So while you're here, you probably are relaxed, but relax even more. If your eyes were turned in a certain direction, go ahead and bring them back to center. A little bit of core activation. And bring your knees back to center. Unhook the legs. Feet flat on the ground. Just in neutral for a few moments. And then bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. It could feel good to roll from right to left. And when you're satisfied, bring your feet back down onto the floor. You're going to extend your knees, and if you want for your Shavasana, you can bring your rolled up blanket right underneath your knees. Give them a bit of a elevation. And this is good for those same front hip muscles, the psoas, that we use so much when we're sitting. It'll give them a nice relief. Push into your feet, readjust your hips. Push into your head, readjust your shoulders. Hands by your side, palms up to the sky. Close your eyes. And before we go into our final relaxation, let's go ahead and observe the body once again. Start at the top of your head, bring all your awareness and concentration there, the center of the top of your head. Work your way down your whole body. Just feel maybe what's different, what you can relax. And then when you're ready, just let go. Get deeper into your mat. Almost like you're letting the ground cradle you. With your eyes closed, everybody's cameras off, I can't see you, so start stretching your face. Opening your mouth really, really wide. Stick your tongue out. Move your jaw from side to side. Open your eyes really wide, close them shut. Move your face around and get rid of any tension that's left over there. Make a funny face, look weird. You'll feel good after. And then when you're satisfied, let go completely. Relax your jaw and tongue. And just relax. Let the whole practice wash over your body. And relax. And the practice was very relaxing and on your back the whole time or lying down. So you can take all the time you need in your final Shavasana pose. When you are ready to come out, it's going to be really important that you do so taking your time, turning over onto your right side first in a fetal position, and take many, many breaths there. And then once you feel satisfied from that, keeping your head heavy, you'll press yourself up, take a seat, and maybe you commit to just following 5 rounds of breath before you go on with the rest of your evening. You're pretty relaxed, so you may not be too productive after this. Try to keep that chill, relaxed vibe alive all evening and throughout your week. Thank you for joining. Have a nice week. Namaste.